What's up, everyone? My name is John Oakes. I lost 200 pounds and you can too. Today we're going to talk about why you should weigh exactly what you weigh. Why you should be overweight. If you're watching this video, I assume you struggle with your weight. A lot of us walk around all day with these list of shoulds going through our head. We should be doing this, we should be doing this, we should be doing this more, we should be doing this better. And this is tricky because what it ends up doing is not only is it laden with shame and judgment and negative vibes, but it gets us into this mode where we're constantly feeling like we should be somewhere other than where we are. And it tricks your brain into thinking in some ways that you aren't where you are. I know that sounds a little confusing, but you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So for instance, with the issue of weight loss, a lot of times people say, I should weigh 135 pounds. Oh, I should weigh 185 pounds. They're constantly reminding themselves of where they're not, they should weigh, and how things should be. And what ends up happening is that your brain starts to get confused. It starts to say, okay, here's what I see happening in life, and the result of this should be that I weigh 185 pounds. The result of this should be that I weigh 135 pounds. You can see the brain hears this message 50,000 times, and it starts to get confused. And this is one of the many reasons why weight loss, which should fundamentally be quite easy, gets to be so insanely difficult for reasons that we can't always understand, because we can't see the massive confusion and delusion that we've steeped ourselves in, mostly on accident. So let's start with this. You should weigh exactly what you weigh. Now, this isn't tough love. This isn't me saying, oh, you need to do things different. You gotta get disciplined. No, I'm not saying that at all. In fact, what we're doing is stripping our conversation with ourselves of value judgments. We're definitely stripping it of shame, any negative vibes. We're just saying, I eat a certain way. I get the activity that I get. I eat how I eat. I relate to myself the way I relate to myself. And this is the outcome. 300 pounds, 350 pounds, 400 pounds, or in my case, 420 pounds. I eat this way day to day. I get this level of activity, and I relate to myself in this way. And this is the result, what I weighed on the scale this morning. For me, that was a game changer. You'd think that it would be like crushing to say to yourself, I should weigh 420 pounds because I live this way. Here's the input, here's the output. But what it was actually a feeling of overwhelming relief, like a feeling of sanity, like whew, everything just gets calm because your brain finally goes, oh, this makes sense. I'm eating this way, I'm getting this level of activity or non-activity, and I have a destructive relationship to myself, right? The list can be longer, usually it is, but even if we just identify, say, 1 or 2 or 3 main points, the brain can then go, oh, that makes a lot more sense. By stripping things of meaning and value judgments, simplifying things, in a sense, just admitting what is real and just seeing it for what it is. Now, what this allows us to do is have a healthy relationship with reality, which is the first step to having a healthy relationship to ourselves, you could argue. And then you can go back around and say, okay, that number, that magic number my brain has for me, where I'm at a healthy weight, and maybe it was a healthy weight that you lived at before. Maybe it's a weight you've never really been at as an adult, but you think like 185, I'd probably be a healthy individual, or 135, or whatever the number is. Then you can say, okay, now let's reverse engineer the reality part, right? If I weigh 185, right, what would my life look like? I'd eat this way, I would exercise this way, and I would relate to myself this way. I would have these kinds of beliefs about myself. It can be whatever you want. In fact, I really want you to draw that picture as much as possible by yourself. Because even if you've never been 185, if you draw that picture of what you at 185 looks like, it's your picture, right? And when you do that, you're really expressing a reality that already exists inside of you. And that's really cool, because then you can ground yourself in a reality that maybe you can't see on the outside yet, but it's there and it's very real. It's just as real as the fact that you ate Cheetos for breakfast and weighed 400 pounds today. You just haven't fully expressed it yet. So, to be clear, when we relate the reality of the cause and effect of I eat this way at 185, I have this level of activity at 185, and here's how I socialize at 185. And to be clear, yeah, this list isn't what you need to do to get to 185. No, we're just painting a picture of a person who does this and feels this way about themselves, or they have these beliefs or this lifestyle. This person weighs 185 pounds, and their behavior correlates to their weight and their fitness outcomes. And make zero effort to try to connect big you to smaller you, right? Make zero effort to connect that. Your brain is gonna do that on its own. And this is where weight loss gets super easy. And weight loss really should be easy. I'm not saying easy in the sense of, hey, take a pill and magically lose 100 pounds. I'm saying that let's be real. You drive down the road probably every day. Your brain is making calculations, piloting thousands of pounds of metal down the road and watching other cars swing into traffic and making calculations like a rocket scientist that keep you alive, and probably other people too. Your brain is, even if you don't think of yourself as a smart person, the fact that you get out of bed and tie your shoes and drive a car and go to work and do any of this stuff, even if you don't do all of those things in a day, you just do one of those things in a day, it proves that your brain is so immensely capable of connecting the dots on its own. And if you just give it a footing in reality, a reality of where you're at and a reality of where you're going, your brain can do the rest. So it just starts with awareness, reality. Steep yourself in reality. Here's the reality of the cause and effect between what's happening now and what I'm getting. And here's a picture of the future of a person at a healthier weight with a healthier lifestyle and the cause and effect there. And you would be amazed at what can happen just by signposting those two things for your brain. Then let that little inner rocket scientist figure it out. And that way we're not relying on motivation. Like, do you need to be motivated to swerve out of the way of a semi-truck? I mean, no, there's a self-preservation that is going to help us achieve these life changes. Just let alone the desire to live better and feel better. So I hope that this is helpful. I hope that this helps you ground your brain in reality where it is today, and also the reality of where you're going. And that these can be reflective of a healthy relationship to what is, rather than trying to decipher and sift through all the possibilities and imaginings, and basically living in a fantasy land, right? By grounding ourselves in reality, we give ourselves a real shot at making huge life changes and making them rather easily. So if you have any comments or questions, please put them below. I do provide a more one-on-one coaching. You can reach out to me at johnoakescoaching@gmail.com. Of course, please subscribe. This channel is brand new, so you could be the first subscriber. If you subscribe, that would really help me get going. I'm really just here to help you guys change your lives and do so as easily as possible. That's my whole thing, is that this really can be easy. Because we at a deep level just want it. And the work is really about untangling the nonsense inside of us so that simple things can just make themselves be. Just as simply as we would swerve out of the way of a semi-truck, we can lose hundreds of pounds off our body and change our future for ourselves and for everyone around us. All right, please take care of yourselves, and I'll be back soon with another video.